That is because my microphone was still muted. Now you should hear me better. I knew I was going to forget to do that. Drinking coffee, always worth 5 skulls of my enemies. Unless it's from Tim Hortons, because I don't like Tim Hortons coffee. They're all good, so good. Hopefully today my audio is better. I picked up a new microphone, so I got one of those blue snowball ones. So hopefully it's better than last time, because last time it was atrocious in my opinion. So let me know how it sounds. We will get on with the episode either way. So in episode 55, it came from the outer dark. I got a few things I want to talk about. You know, I like to start this little thing here, so it's not in recursion with my blog on there. But I always forget that too. Anyways, nothing hugely new on the blog right now. I got some stuff I'm going to put up, but I have not yet. We'll talk about that. First thing we'll talk about comic books, because I got some comic books this last week. The first one isn't a new one, but I finished it finally. So I picked up a little while ago Conan, Wolves Beyond the Border, King Conan. It's a collection of the comics, and I finally get around to reading that. I'm going to give that a solid thumbs up. It's a good yarn about Conan facing the Picts in his old age. Pretty cool. Lots of tie-ins to Howard's original stories. Pretty cool. I liked it. Also, of course, we picked up a couple other Howard-ish type things. Episode 2 of Cull Eternal, which I have not had a chance to read yet. So they're taking King Cull and they're throwing him around through time. See if he can defeat the Snake People. And also another one I have not had a chance to read yet. Wonder Woman and Conan, number 2, came out. So first one was okay. Tried the second one. See how that one works. That's all my comic books this week. I don't buy a lot of them, but a couple here and there. So good. So good. So what else do we got going on here? This week, I hoped to have a chance to check this out, although I never did. This is Zweihander, Grim and Perilous RPG. I wanted to check it out because the early access is free. Still free on drive-thru right now, so feel free to run by and check that out if you are so inclined. I have nothing else to say about it because I didn't get a chance to check it out. Sorry. However, I did pick up Savage Worlds Deluxe. I did pick this up. So Savage Worlds Deluxe, I had a look at that. Seems like a pretty popular system. I had a couple notes here. It's a generic rule set, so I mean you can build whatever you want. There's plenty of other environments that are already created, including Solomon Kane, which is also on sale. You know these are on sale right now. They're like $10 versus 30 or something like that. Solomon Kane's the same way. I'll bring that up in a second. Let's bring it up right now. So Solomon Kane here. So Solomon Kane is a complete rule set, and it's supposed to be a little bit different than the newest Savage Worlds rule set. Oops. So, I haven't picked up Solomon Kane yet because I'll probably want it as actual paperback book. So it'll be a bit more expensive. But, so what can we say about Savage Worlds? I think it's more like the Conan 2D20 system than Dungeons & Dragons is. But it's pretty different still too. So like I said, it's your own rule set. Characters are not class-based. They're concept-based, so you come up with the concept and then use the rules to build that character, which is pretty cool. It has a neat dice mechanic. And if you've played Tomorrow's War, if you're a 15mm guy, it's similar to that. Your abilities are based on a die type, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. And successes are 4+. And your roll is modified based on how hard it is. So it might be like -2 to your roll or +2 to your roll. It also has a mechanic based on a thing called raises. So if you get 8 or 12, you get more than 1 raise or 2 raises depending. Like in combat, 1 raise is all you ever get for extra damage. But I like that concept of, which we see in Conan as well, of not just succeeding, but it's succeeding extra well. And I think that's pretty cool. It has not a struggle system like Conan does. Like when we fight and I on a parry, there's no struggle, but it has a mechanic based around if we're both wrestling over an item or maybe we're both racing or comparing our stats. There's a methodology for that as well, which is also cool. Another thing that I like about it, and most people who are watching this will probably like about it, strongly miniatures based. It almost feels a little bit like a war game in some ways, in that their ranges are all in inches. So they're designed to be measured on the tabletop as miniatures. So I think that's also pretty cool. Good pulp action in this rule set as far as I'm concerned. So I would highly recommend checking it out. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I don't know when I will, because time to play is small, and we're using it for Conan right now, which I still like because Conan, hello. So yeah, Solomon Kane is one of the rule sets, and there's a companion book as well. It's also on sale, I believe. These are great deals right now. So like the Wizard here said, solid rule set. He likes it. If you're on the Facebook Conan Gaming group, if you're not, you should be. Matt on there is pretty big fan of it and plays, I think, the Solomon Kane rule set. So just wanted to bring that up. Yeah, Savage Worlds, check it out. There's lots and lots of community online for it. So highly recommend giving it a chance. So Solomon Kane right now, $49.99 American, on sale for $14.99. Pretty solid. And then Savage Worlds, $29.99 on sale for $9.99. I don't know how long these sales are on for. They've been on for a while already, but I recommend it. And finally, well, not finally, I got more to say. Don't worry about that. Modiphius has released Conan. So Modiphius has bundles. You can buy the actual hardcover books now. You can buy extra dice, which I've done. Game screens, blah, blah, blah. And at the bottom, they've got all their free stuff. So they've got the free RPG Day Adventure, Pit of Cthulhu, the Quick Start Adventure PDF, which has Quick Start rules. So check that out if you haven't before. And then free character sheets and Conan free RPG Day extra characters. And a Conan D20 to 2D20 conversion guide if you were a fan of the D20 system and want to check out the 2D20 and have some stuff you want to bring over. So lots of good stuff on there. I will put all these links in the description below when we're done, because you guys might care about it. You might want to see. You might want to check it out. I don't know. Yeah, so one of the things, that was just a really quick blurb. One of the things I've been working on for Conan, which I posted to Google Plus, is this document. I called it Traps of Doom. Let's get my cool echo effect there. So the Traps of Doom I'm working on is going to be like a document that has basic triggers and how easy they are to detect, and then you'll associate the triggers with various kinds of traps, and then the traps will have effects in them. And right now they just have effects and they don't really have any Doom momentum spends, but I'd like to incorporate that. So like up here we have obvious pressure plates. If you don't have the thieving skill, observation difficulty 1. If you're a thief and you're accustomed to such things, your difficulty is going to be 0. You're going to be like, hey, there's pressure plates there. And then I figured, because it's zone based, there's not actual squares, as your characters enter the zone, and they're walking across it, you could roll like a d6 every time they move within the zone, a d6, a combat die, and if you get an effect, they trigger the trap. Pretty cool. So we got obvious pressure plates, hidden pressure plates, and then camouflage pressure plates. Then we got a couple other ones, tripwire, pretty easy to see again. Then we got weight over an area, 1 to 2 people, weight over an area, 3 to 4 people. So this would be the entire zone. You'd have to have 3 to 4 people on the entire zone to trigger it. These would be the hardest triggers to detect because it's probably weight based over an entire area, so it's big. And then we got different trap types. So I got CD trigger. If player or NPC moves in the zone without detecting the trigger, they roll a CD and result effects triggers engaged. So like I said, zone crossing triggered when the character exits the zone if they haven't detected it. And then the whole zone triggers the trap when you've simply entered the zone and you have enough people in there. So then I got a couple of different traps on here. We've got the crushing wall, spears, poison darts, pit traps, spike traps, acid traps, room seals and floods, cage, gassed, acid gas, blades of death. So if you're watching the video later or now and you have ideas for different kinds of traps, feel free to leave them in the comments below, with the caveat that I need traps that are going to be relevant to Conan. in terms of realism, I guess. Like, I don't want exploding fireball traps because that's not really in the vein of Conan, in my opinion. My coffee cup over here, so it's not next to the microphone because it might be picking it up. So I figured crushing walls, for example, the door seals in 1 to 2 rounds. Players in a zone adjacent to the door when it closes can make a D3 acrobatics agility test to dive under the door. If you fail, it means they mostly make it through, but they take 2 CD damage when the weight of the door catches them as it closes. But if they roll a complication, they still take that damage, but they're trapped in the room. If you're in the room, the walls crush, and they will crush anyone for 1d4 rounds. And crushed players suffer 3 combat dice damage per turn, with the concept that if they can make a D5 brawn test on any one of these turns, they will stop themselves from being crushed. So if it rolled a 4 on the crushing damage, they would have to roll 4 difficulty 5 brawn tests to prevent any damage. Different stuff like that. But I mean, I would like to maybe add a doom spend in here where the GM can spend 2 points of doom to increase it by 1 round, and the players can use momentum to offset the difficulty on the brawn test, which is a thing you can do anyways, but I'll write it into the actual description. So if you're playing 2D20, watch for this. It's going to be on the blog. I posted the 0.5 on Conan Gaming Group on G+, Google+, yesterday. So that's something I'm working on. I think it's pretty cool, pretty neat. I've had it going for a while. I just picked it up again to start working on it again. So I got in the mail finally, which I ordered. This is, again, No More Traps of Doom. Next thing. Got lots to talk about, but I'm getting through it all quick so we can look at the progress on the Conan extension, which is what I want to do last. So I finally, I ordered these in like June or July or something stupid like that. They were supposed to get here by, I think they're supposed to be here by August. It's November. They showed up yesterday. These, so right now my Doom tokens in Conan are little red, drop one, little red tokens, like, I don't know, game tokens. Then I saw these on Amazon and they were cheap. So I picked these beads up. They're skull beads. You can see them very well here. So if I can get you guys turn around here. These skull beads, pretty cool. So I can take them off the strings, obviously. I got 2 of them. Dook. Dook. I got lots of them. So I'm going to use these in my Doom tokens. They're going to be cool. My players are going to be like, oh crap, now these Doom tokens are skulls. That's not good. It's going to be awesome. They look pretty cool. Happy with those. Happy they finally showed up. I thought they would for sure be lost. Lost! If you missed last crafting video, we built decorated tiles, mosaics on them and stuff. Check that out. So, talked about Zweihander, which I did not get a chance to look at. Talked about Savage Worlds. Talked about the Conan bundles. Trap Room Skulls. So, there wasn't a lot going on in terms of things that I saw on Kickstarter, so I didn't bring any Kickstarter stuff in here. Nothing to spend our money on this week. Awesome, we can save some cash. Except for, of course, Joan of Arc. Still haven't pulled the trigger on that, but I'm still thinking about it. But let us turn off... Where's my stuff here? I gotta find the correct thing. Let's turn on Fantasy Grounds. Let's turn off Chrome. So... here we are, Fantasy Grounds Extension again. As you know, because I've told you a million times, 90% of the graphics in this were created by, probably 99%, created by the Jolly GM, JC Locke. You can check him out on YouTube and on Google+. There's a weird thing with my dice right now that this D12 always wants to roll. But it doesn't actually roll, it just starts somewhere, whatever. So... here's my extension. Like I said, Jolly GM. You got his jollygm.blogspot.ca on here. This is based on the More Core system. And special thanks to Damned on Fantasy Grounds. He's been super helpful for me. And he wrote the original Conan D20 roller for this. So that's also awesome. If you're familiar with the system, things that we've looked at before were the character sheets. So I think I've made changes to this since you guys last saw it. So now we have an entire section on stress, harm, and soak. We have vigor. We have the armor for all the different locations. We have our wounds. We have resolve, courage, and trauma. I think everything else is still the same. Everything else still works fine. So that's pretty cool. So that's one thing I did, which is cool. And close that. NPCs, nothing hugely exciting here. But I reorganized the stat block up here, so it's the same order as the book. So when you're entering stuff, it'll be way simpler than being like, where's awareness and trying to find it, and where's brawn and trying to find it. So also cool. No, the other thing I changed on the character sheet. I changed attacks to be the same kind of system we have on the NPC sheet. So you can be in here and be description, cutlass, and you go, I don't know, damage is /die 4D. I'm going to write 1 in here because I have something else to show you guys. And I'll use this as the example. Then you can come in here and go reach 2, vicious 1, and that's just descriptive. So now you have a cutlass on here and you can roll it there if you want to, which we'll get to in a second. So the other thing that we did, and this is super cool, get the character sheet up again. You'll note that my character sheet, stress, harm, and soak, are currently numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because in the combat tracker, get rid of that. We will call this character Natara because I've been calling them all Natara since I've been testing this. Pull up the Natara token, which I just found online somewhere, so I'm stealing someone's art. I apologize profusely for that. I take no credit for that piece of art. I just need a quick token. Anyways, so let's go back to characters. Let's drop our character in here. I get a bunch of debug stuff and some errors that are nothing super static anchor, which I got to figure out, but I'm not sure what it means exactly. So, anyways, close that. Back up here. So when we have our combat tracker now, you'll notice Natara has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if Natara's vigor was 14, our vigor is now 14 in the combat tracker. If our torso armor was 6, I can only have 1 in here, so I chose torso. I thought it'd be the one that got hit the most. Wounds 0, resolve say 8, courage 1. So now when we're looking at the combat tracker, we can see all of this stuff, which is pretty neat. I still need to attach her rolls to here. It used to be attached, which was attached, but it's not anymore because I've been messing with stuff. So if we do that and we look at an NPC, we drop our warg on here. So he's got an attack test built in, so you can just pop that open. His stat blocks are not linked, but if they were in here and you had a vigor of 10, of say 16, let's go 5, soak of 1, and resolve of 8, and a courage of 1. If you had that as the warg and you brought him over, now you would have all those stats in there. But they're not attached because when I kill this guy, when I go, he takes, maybe I can't edit these. That'd be funny. Oh, wrong one. When I edit these, I don't want to edit the warg's vigor in here because this is the monster manual essentially. So pretty cool. Pretty happy with all of that progress. And the other thing I've done is, and this is the cool part. You guys ready for this? I'm not sure anyone's watching anymore, but hopefully they are because this part's cool. I've got my D6. If you right click on that, you get your stuff and access to the custom die panel. Custom die panel has a 2 from Morecore and my D1, which is my combat die. So I can click on that. I can roll my combat dice. I roll 6. 6 is an effect worth 1 point. So if I pull my character up again, and this will all be eventually accessible through that combat tracker, and I roll for my cutlass, you'll see I got 3 effects, which is 3 normally. We know it's vicious 1, so it's 6 points of damage actually. If I roll again, we get blank, blank, and then 2 and a 1. So 3 points of damage. And the same with the NPC. If I come into here and I roll their attack test, I get the same thing. So I got my pretty cool combat dice in here. I'm pretty happy with that. That took some effort, and a huge thank you to the guys on on Fantasy Grounds forum, especially Trenlo and Damned. They were super helpful, and they gave me links to the things I needed to see to make that work. And of course, the effects icon, the little Hawk Phoenix thing there, is from gameicons.net. So if we come back to here, oops, snake. Come back to our Chrome, over to here. Now we're looking at gameicons.net. And I've talked about this site, but I'm not sure I've shown it before. But it's a totally cool site if you need quick icons that are free. If you go back to gamesicon.net, so already 3,044 free icons for your game. 21st recent icons. So I mean, you'd be like, I need sword. I need a sword for my game. You type in sword. You get all these different hits. Excuse me. And the sword hill icon, and then tags or blades. Let's click on blade. Look at all the different blades they have in here. There's a million different kinds of icons. If you're building the game and you need like a shield, type in shield icon, hit shield for the tags, all the different shields they have. You got spaceship shields, broken shields, attack shields, riot shields, Spartan shields. Man, it's all kinds. Highly recommend this site for quick use of icons. They even got girl swordsman. Nice. So cool. So cool. I was actually on the website or the Facebook page for Song of Blades and Heroes, his stuff. And he was working on his new thing, and he had icons in there that were from here. I'm like, I recognize those. Change the background, transparency and stuff. Pretty cool. Arrows and spears. It's just got everything. It's a great site. I mean, there's sometimes you can't find everything you need, but you can find quite a bit. So that's where I got these icons from here. Oops, these icons here. So I think that's all of the additions I've made to the Conan Extension. If you're unfamiliar with this Fantasy Grounds system, and I haven't actually used it to play yet, but it's pretty cool. You can load your images in here. I don't know if I have any. Quick here. Let's jump into here. You guys can even see that. Can you guys even see that? You see my top secret directory structure? No. Well, that's too bad for you guys. Folder, or maybe it closed. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I got some live game stuff in here that I was playing with, so I wanted to do some live games. So let's mess around in there. Go to overlays. Nope, not it. I gotta find it here. This is hard. Not it either. Maybe I call them XSplit games because I was going to do it over XSplit. There they are. We'll come into here. We'll come into Arena. These are probably all too big. Let's go into Tribe of the Bear. Go to the Caravan. Fantasy Grounds. Alright. So let's grab this, drop it in here. Close. So now we got our images. You can pop that open inside Fantasy Grounds, and you can drop tokens on here. So you can take your character, drop Natara on, drop her token on here. Book. Pretty big right now, but you can click on it and make it smaller. Cool. Neat. So you can also do this thing called encounters, which is super cool. So if we had our NPC, we got our warg here. Go to tokens, and we'll just pick a letter token here quick, maybe. Oh, W, perfect. Drop him on there. We go close. Close. We can take our warg. We can drop our warg on here. Theoretically, we can. Oh, we got to make a new encounter first. I'm still new to all this stuff. So here's a new encounter. Warg encounter. Cool. So we can drop our warg on here. We can say we need 5. We got 5 wargs to place now. So we go close. If I remember correctly, we're going to close this. Open up our roadside caravan. We'd be like, our warg is here, 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 and here. Now let's put them here. So those are our little wargs, whichever they are. Close that. Counter goes away. Close. You can actually even go counters, warg encounter. You can drop your. I think you can drop it in there. Maybe you can't. Oh, maybe you can't. I think you can do it in stories. You could go story, and go new story. I'm just guessing here now. Warg encounter, roadside caravan. All right. So now we got our 2 stories. This makes everything really easy to get to. So now when your players want to do the caravan story, you come up to here. You drag your caravan out, get your map. Awesome. You pull up your warg encounter. Already on there. I think you hit that. Transfers them to the combat tracker. So now you've got all your wargs and the tar in the combat tracker. Can't see them until you turn them on. Turn all these guys on one at a time, or all at the same time with that. So now we just quickly transferred everyone to the combat tracker. Natara can go 1, 2 zones. She can only go 1 zone, but whatever. And then she can roll her attack dice and see if she hits them. So, pretty cool. Pretty neat system. You can resize them on the bottom here if you've got a smaller screen like I do, and then you can use this to move around however you want. But this isn't a Fantasy Grounds demo. I just wanted to show the Conan stuff I've been playing with. The map here in Fantasy Grounds is, of course, from 2 Minute Tabletop. Highly recommend that guy as well. I got some console stuff coming up there, my debugging stuff, but pretty cool. Pretty happy with how things are going. A couple more things I want to do. I still want to mess around with the attack section here. I want to make that a little bit better. I want to make an actual weapon list here, but maybe that'll never happen. I don't know. I don't know. Other than that, I think it's pretty close to being pretty awesome right now. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. You got comments about that, of course. Drop them down below. Let me know what you think about the Fantasy Grounds extension for Conan. I'm going to make it available to everyone pretty soon, I think, because it's getting to the place where I like it. I might make a custom D20 body roller as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. In fact, almost guaranteed I'm going to do that. Now that I know how. Yeah. All right. So that is everything in my world for gaming this week. If there's anyone still watching here, I guess I can check that out by going here and see what's going on. We still got a couple of us there watching. Do you guys have any comments or ideas you guys want to share with the group? I will drink my coffee and wait and see what happens. There's a lot of lag between what I say and what you guys see, so there's going to be a bit of a quiet part where I wait for you guys to add anything or not, because I'm watching the video and it's pretty far behind from where I am in real life right now. If you're watching and you're interested in Conan, I'm going to set up, I think, live games for a couple hours, starting at 6 p.m. probably, around that time, on Monday evenings, Mountain Time. So right now, Mountain Time, it is 9:37 a.m. if you're watching this live. Wow, I'm really far behind. That's crazy. Switch over to typing here because I think that's going to be faster. Feels like I went through all my stuff really fast, but I guess it's been almost 40 minutes, so it's not bad. I'm going to do, no, I'm just talking for fun now. I'm going to do a video where I go through my Inktober stuff that I did this last month. We got 31 pieces of art to go through. I was going to film more of the drawing, but I never did, so I only did the one. But we'll put the webcam up or whatever, and or the YouTube video or camera or whatever, and we'll flip through those and tell you what I was thinking when I drew them and that kind of stuff. Well, the combat tracker, because that's what's coming up on my screen right now. The other thing I want to add to it is a little checkbox next to all the stats for when characters have gone. If you're unfamiliar with Conan 2D20, there's no initiative roll. Characters go first in whatever order they choose to, and the GM may interrupt that order by spending a point of doom for one of his guys. So if I had five individual guys and I wanted to attack first, I would need to spend 5 points of doom. Which brings me back to Savage Worlds. The other thing I wanted to talk about Savage Worlds, which is similar to Conan 2D20, and I guess a few other games as well, is the idea of wildcards versus minions. So in Conan, you have player characters, which are player characters, the most powerful in the game, and the equivalent to them in bad guys is called Nemesis. We have the same kind of concept in Savage Worlds, where we have wild cards, which are players, and high-level bad guys. And then below that, there's like thugs and that kind of stuff. So, which kind of translate to minions and toughened guys in Conan. So, which I think adds to that whole pulp feel, where the larger-than-life guys can just kick the ass of these thugs and minions that are trying to stop them. But I think I'm going to call that the end of the video today, because I'm done talking, and now I'm just talking for the sake of talking, which is meh. Anything else I need to talk about? Oh, Wednesday. I'll have something on video on Wednesday. I don't know what yet, but we got a new scotch to try, so come on by and see what kind of scotch I'm drinking on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And with that, everyone, it's Saturday. You guys all have a great weekend. Drink a beer for me. I'll probably drink one for you. And that's it. Cheers. Where's my controller? Where's my controller? Here's my controller.